Hi, welcome. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. Welcome if you're new here. My name is Debbie Mediati. I'm a licensed psychotherapist and founder and creator of Rebel Coaching and Rebel Therapy. I offer psychotherapy, although less so, and I also offer women's empowerment coaching. So I've started a series where I'm going through each of the major arcana of the tarot. Reason being is that tarot is one of the modalities that I use in my work. I find that it is a great tool for deepening self-awareness, deepening it provides you with some questions and prompts for questions that may come up, inquiries around what you are looking to maybe change in your life, or things you'd like to add to your life or stop doing or start doing. Tarot can be quite insightful and help with that process. So I've been going through each of the major arcana, and today we are at the Hierophant, card 5. The Hierophant, well, before we begin, let's take a moment, find your seat, take a nice deep breath and exhale. It's always good to come to your cards as relaxed as you can, kind of trying to just let go of what's happened before, all the things you have to do after, and just sort of land in the space so that you can really tune in. So you'll want to take a look at the card and just tune into what comes up for you. How do you feel when you look at this card? It's got quite religious overtones, right? We see a male figure sitting on a throne, open book, staff, and two male figures who almost look like monks, perhaps. I don't know. But they do appear to be kneeling before this elevated figure. What comes up for you? This is the way in which you begin to start to engage with your intuition, your inner knowing. So the Hierophant is the card of Taurus. So right away we're talking about fixed earth. If you know any Tauruses in your life, then you know what fixed earth can sometimes look like. A bit of an immovable rock. They can be quite stubborn, but also very steadfast, right? Taurus people are dependable, can count on them. They're quite traditional in their views. Very steady people. Not ones to really rock the boat much, okay? So in previous time periods and in other interpretations of the tarot, the Hierophant was at one time called the Pope. So clearly there are religious overtones here, right? So if perhaps you've pulled out the Hierophant because you're looking specifically for the guidance of this card, placed it on your altar and you're kind of checking in with it each day. Or perhaps you came to your deck today, you're doing a daily pull, and this is the card that came out. So what is the messaging here for you? So the Hierophant is certainly indicative of societal structures, traditional institutions. What's a traditional institution in our culture? Marriage is a classic one, right? Certain rites of passage as we go through developmental phases. The law, following the spoken and unspoken traditions of the culture in which you live. It is also about divine blessing. So when we think about religion, faith, spirituality, we're kind of all talking about the same thing. We're just kind of driving a different vehicle to get there, right? So if you've come to this card, or this card has come to you, right, some things that you may want to ask or explore. Let's start with the exterior. What are your values? What traditions and institutions do you believe in and do you follow? And what institutions and traditions and structures give you a feeling of stability, of security, right? Then we're going to move internally. We're going to ask the questions around what is your internal knowing? What is your source? What do you go to for inspiration and for knowing and for questioning? What is your relationship to your inner knowing, to divine intervention, to divine spirit? And is that external and internal space in alignment? Now, it can be really difficult to be in full alignment here. Sometimes the external structures and traditional institutions don't quite serve us, feel supportive of us. Maybe they do, but maybe they don't. And so when the Hierophant pops up in a reading or in a pull, it could be asking you to investigate whether or not you feel in alignment with your exterior value system, beliefs, ethos, and your interior space, the space of divine blessing, of divine knowing, of this more internal space of questioning. It's a great card for asking and probing around the institute, like what institutions give you comfort. Maybe you go to church, and maybe you don't believe every single thing that's told or said, but you find community there, and you get a feeling of belonging. Because at the end of the day, that's really most of our inquiries, most of our pain can come from a sense of not feeling that we fit in or belong anywhere. Traditional institutions can be really supportive in that way, but perhaps that's not for you. And so you get your support and your sense of belonging in a different way, from a spiritual community, from meditation, from going for walks with your friends, right? But all of these things are supporting you in an important way. But when the Hierophant shows up, it's asking you to explore the ways in which you get divine inspiration and messaging, the ways in which you connect with your higher source, the ways in which you feel connected to your environment, not just your internal space, but your external space. And if those two things don't align, that's okay. Do you need to do anything about it? The answer might be yes, the answer might be no. But the Hierophant is asking the question. It's asking you to ask the question, right? Where does your support come from? Does your exterior traditional institutions, do they support your sense of belonging? And if not, where do you find that? Take some time with the card. They're all complex. They all will hit you, each of us, in a different way. So it's important to bolster your intuition by spending time with the cards and what resonates, what comes through. Because what I say may feel somewhat resonant, completely resonant, or not resonant at all. And that's the way it should be. So as you spend time, if any questions come up, feel free to put those questions in the comments below. I'd love to start a dialogue around these topics and around the cards. I'll leave all of my information in the description box below, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thanks so much for stopping by today.